Have you ever just stopped and thought, why the fuck isn't my outreach working? Whatever strategy I try, whether that be cold emails, cold DMs, different offers, I just can't seem to sign a client. And to be honest, it's not that uncommon, because a lot of the time, the way people approach outreach is completely wrong. And I did it for the longest time, and it was extremely frustrating. But when I realized actually what goes into doing great outreach as a beginner, as someone who doesn't have maybe like loads of case studies or credibility to lean on, once I switched up the strategy, and I'm going to explain the strategy in this video, I was able to sign my first big client within 30 days. And funnily enough, it's about 3 years since I signed that client, and we're still working with them to this day. They've paid me multiple 6 figures over the last couple of years for my services. And it all happened because I just changed the way I was approaching outreach. So I'm going to explain it all in this video. Now, it's doing outreach using what I call bolt-on offers. And I'm going to explain what that is in a second. But first, you want to kind of look at psychologically, what do both parties need in order to like say yes to a client/agency agreement. So the two parties being you as the service provider, and then also the client as the customer. So if we look at the client side, right? As a successful business owner who is getting approached by a random person on the internet, pitching them a service, there's a couple of key things that you need in order for that customer to say yes, right? And these are, again, successful businesses who are already making money. Number one, and this is what most people get right, so this isn't going to be like mind-shattering, the first point, but it's you need to offer low-cost risk. Again, especially if you're a beginner with like limited case studies and limited credibility, you need to make sure that whatever your offer is, there is a low-cost risk. So there's a low chance of them losing a load of money. So that will typically come in the form of only taking a percentage of the profit that you generate them, or if you're doing like something like cold email, then only getting paid per qualified call or per sale. Again, this is talked about a lot in the agency community, so that in itself isn't going to be like anything groundbreaking, right? So most people have mastered, having some form of like guarantee or something equivalent of that, which reduces the potential cost risk for the customer. Now, a caveat to that is, good businesses, like good clients, don't mind paying money up front for services. I don't want you to get into the mindset of thinking that, to sign any client, I just need to take just a profit share. Because I also made that mistake in the beginning. But established businesses are happy to pay up front because they understand ROI. The problem is that if you're a beginner with no credibility and no case studies, then it gets harder to create that trust where they are actually willing to part with their money. But if you have a lot of case studies in their niche and you've got credibility in your service and your offering, then it's not hard to get good business owners to part with their money to pay for a service up front because, again, they understand risk and they understand ROI. But I am making this video for people who are more on the beginner part of their journey. So as a beginner with limited case studies and credibility, you are going to have to reduce that cost risk because you can't really prove to them that you're going to get an ROI. So you're going to have to reduce the cost, okay? So that's number one, and that's what most people have, right? Guarantees and stuff. Number two is what people don't often think about. And what else these business owners need is a low time risk investment. Because again, you've got to think about it from their mind. They already have like a successful, good business, and their time is valuable. They're probably running their business, wearing lots of different hats or managing lots of different people, and they've got a million different things going on. And you, a complete stranger, is messaging them being like, hey, let's do this thing, or let's work on this thing together. And if that thing that you're selling requires a lot of time from them, even if it's got high potentials of return, it's just not worth the risk for them. It's not worth them putting 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, however long it takes for them to invest into whatever you're offering. It's not worth it for them. So you need to come up with an offer that requires very little time investment from them and therefore reducing the risk. So for example, I see it like people offering webinars. Like people will message some of my clients being like, hey, have you ever, like I work with like info product companies that sell like courses and coaching. So some people will pitch my clients in the DMs being like, hey, I think we should like, have you ever thought about running a webinar? Have you ever thought about like starting a school community to make money, to make more money? I think your audience would love it. And I'm like, dude, to like run and manage a community takes a lot of time. It's going to have to like have course content created. They're going to have to be like live calls and coaching. A webinar can take hundreds of hours to like master and get super profitable. Like, yes, you could help them write the script, but they're going to have to perform it. They're going to have to go live every week or every few weeks or whatever it is. They're going to have to film the webinar. Like, it's going to take a load of their time. So if you, as a beginner, again, with limited case studies and proof that it works, goes to a successful business owner who's already making money and be like, hey, invest 10 to 20 or 100 hours of your time working with me on this thing, it's not worth it to them. So you need to make sure that it's low time risk investment. And then the third thing as well, which people, again, don't really understand, is that whatever, and this is where like the bolt-on offer comes in, is whatever service you have, it can't interfere with what they're currently doing. Because, again, if a company is already making money doing a certain thing, and if you come in, again, with limited credibility, social proof, and your offer is to improve what they're currently doing or change it in any way, then they aren't going to trust that. They're not going to trust you. And they're going to continue what's currently making them money, and they're going to discard whatever offer that you have. Even if you have like guarantees and stuff in place, it's just not worth like the risk whatsoever. So examples as if this would be like ad improvement offers. So if a client is running Facebook ads and you're a beginner with limited proof, going and pitching businesses who are already running Facebook ads, saying, hey, we can improve that performance, you're editing what's currently working for them, right? And therefore, they're not going to trust you to take over their ads because it's not worth the risk of you coming in and fucking it up. Now, if a company says yes to that, then guess what? Their ads probably aren't working, right? And they're probably losing money. And then that's the debate of like whether you actually want to take them on as a client. Like you probably don't in some circumstances. If their ads are super unprofitable, again, it depends. But again, they might not be a perfect client. So you want to make sure that whatever service you provide is a bolt-on. And basically it takes no extra time from them, and it doesn't require any editing of their current process. It's basically just like more, like it's an add-on and adding more without adding any extra work for them. So I've got a few other examples as well. So for example, cold email works well for that, right? So that is like a potential bolt-on offer. If you've got a company that you can see they're already taking calls to get new clients, and you can see that they have a calendar and a sales team, right? A bolt-on offer example of that would be like, hey, you don't have to do anything. I'm just going to do like, you'd frame it better than this, but I'm going to do cold email lead gen for you, and I'm just going to get more calls on your calendar. I'm just going to put more calls to that salesperson who you've already got. It's going to take up no extra like big time from them other than taking the extra sales calls, which is what they want. So it's kind of like a bolt-on. Another example would be, for example, if you already see someone running Facebook ads, then going to them and being like, hey, this is making you a load of money. How about I run YouTube ads for you? And we'll add a new traffic source. It'll take no time for you. Like I'll just manage all the ads, I'll manage the funnel, and we'll just use what you're currently doing and we'll sell what you're currently selling. So it's theoretically not going to take much, if any, time from the business owner, and it's just going to put more fuel on the fire of what's currently working for the business. So that's the idea behind a bolt-on. Me, for example, when I went and pitched my services in the beginning, mine was an ad and a funnel offer. So I went to people with big organic followings on YouTube who were selling courses and coaching already. And I basically just said, hey, this is already making you money. How about I run Facebook ads to these offers? I'll do any funnel building. I'll run the ads, write the ads, manage it all. It's going to take no time from you. I'm just going to drive more customers into your business. That was essentially the pitch. So for them, they're like, okay, well, it's not going to take me any time. It's not going to like require like me to change anything that I'm currently doing. I can still, create YouTube videos. I can still sell my courses organically. So it's not going to change anything about that. And this guy's going to add basically just more money for my business for free. And, most of the money I earned was from a profit split. So like there was low cost risk as well. So you can see how that's like a really great bolt-on offer because it's really not going to affect them whatsoever, but it could potentially make them a load of money. And we basically reduce the risk in all different areas. Okay. So what else have we got? And again, it kind of only works if you're new, right? If you are already established, then of course you can offer different services. For example, if you've already got like a huge track record of getting e-commerce businesses, 10x return on ad spend, then yes, you can go to an e-commerce business that's already making money with their ads and be like, hey, we can improve it because you've got a track record and you've got the proof. If you don't have that, which obviously beginners don't, then it's very difficult to do those improvement offers. You need to kind of position yourself as a bolt-on, low risk, but very high return without any input from them. Okay? So that's the first thing. So they're the things that need to be in place as a beginner for the client to say yes to you. But you've also got to look at it from your point of view. What are you looking for in a client? Because some of you will come back and be like, well, Sam, I offer, do cold outreach and people come back to me and say, yes, like come and help me with my Facebook ads. And they're already running Facebook ads. But again, established businesses aren't going to say yes to improvement offers. Only bad businesses are going to say yes to improvement offers. And people who are basically desperate, they're already like losing money with what they're currently doing, like what they're currently doing isn't working. Those are the type of people that respond to your cold outreach with improvement offers that are like, yeah, let's book a call. And you speak to them and, typically these types of businesses are like e-commerce businesses doing less than 20K a month in revenue, or like an online coach / influencer who has like less than 10K followers. Right? These aren't the people that you want to be working with, right? These aren't the people that you want to sign clients. So either two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to get on the phone with them and you're going to waste your time and you're not going to work with them. Or number two, you are going to work with them and they'll probably leave after 2 to 3 months because you aren't getting the results, you're losing the money, and they're just a fucking nightmare to work with anyway. So you're actually relieved that they want to get out of the contract early. Like that shit happens all the time. And it's because you're using the wrong offer to the wrong type of client. You want to work with good clients. You want to work with established companies. You want to work with companies that will make money with or without you. And the only real way, or a consistent or the best way to get in your foot in the door and work with those good companies in the beginning, when you are a beginner with limited credibility, is with what I call bolt-on offers. Okay? What else have we got? I think that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. So I think like if you are struggling with your outreach right now, if you're struggling with your outreach right now, you need to have a look at what is your offer. Because you can have, like I said before, you can have guarantees. Like most people think that outreach is about like the offer in terms of like the guarantee or how much you promise you can make them. So for example, people will be like, oh, in my offer, in my instantly cold email campaigns, I'm saying that I can guarantee them a 2x ROI on ad spend. Well, how about I improve the offer? Okay, I'll do 5x or 10x. That's going to be the key. Or they think like, oh, my outreach says that I can book 30 sales calls in 30 days. It's not working. How about if I promise 90 calls in 30 days? And they fucking think that like that type of shit is how they improve their offer. But it's not whatsoever. People who say no to 30 sales calls in 30 days is going to say no to 90. Just increasing the number of your guarantee or your offer isn't going to fucking work. You need to restructure it completely and have the end client or customer in mind and tailor it to what they need out of the equation. And like I said, that's really, for most people, the only way you're going to get your foot in the door and sign like big, credible, established businesses as clients is if you tick all of those boxes. So hope that was helpful. What I typically do is send stuff like this to my newsletter, email list, whatever you want to call it. It's completely free to join. If you would like more tips like this on how to sign clients, how to grow your agency, how to not only grow your agency in terms of signing clients, but how to get your clients better results, then there's a link in the description that you can join. It's completely for free. And yeah, I basically send out around 3 emails a week with different stuff like this. I can't always put the stuff into a video because this takes longer and it's a little bit more effort. But I send regular emails out to that list with more tips and different resources and trainings I don't put on YouTube. So if you would like that, it's completely free. You can join. The link is in the description. And then other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.